What is up? 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 What is up, Grocknation? Welcome back to Grockstar ASMR this evening in the arcade, where tonight we are playing my very first game of the new split season of League of Legends. If you guys are familiar with this and you're a fan of it, or you're new and found it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content, don't be shy to hit that subscribe button for sure. We do quite a bit of gameplay, whispered ASMR in this channel, as it is very easy for me to make, and I don't have to go, a couple weeks in between videos, setting up my green screen and everything else, so this is kind of nice. Well guys, obviously we're 0-0, as this is the first game of the night. This was taken at about 11 o'clock at night, and I'm staying up all night obviously to get ready for night shifts. I'm not naturally a night owl, but I think I played 3 really great games tonight, including this one. But, it is as old as time, almost. I would say maybe that's a cheesy comparison or metaphor for this, but you're only as good as your team in League of Legends, and I played 3 really amazing games tonight. I easily could have finished my 5-game promos as 3-2. I feel that was achievable, but it wasn't meant to be. We had, one game we had extremely toxic teammates. And the other 2, there was lanes that just fed too much. We couldn't overcome it. The 2 losses that I definitely helped contribute to for sure. I think it's hard for me to say that I didn't give them a chance, because I definitely did, but the team difference in those 2 losses they were too big. Like all the lanes were doing better. The jungler was getting getting fed off these lanes, so every single lane there was just no window for us to win those 2 games, the other games. But I completed my promos 1 and 4, which is so disappointing. I said I got as high as gold 3 last season, and now I'm gonna have to climb out. From bronze 3. I know my first 10 matches, it'll be like 50 LP a win, but still, it's so disappointing. I can't believe it. I debated playing or putting up the other 2, because all 3 good games were back to back to back, but like I said, we gave our team a really good chance the 2 games after this, but there was just lanes that fed way too much, and there was a laner that just shouldn't have been that character. It was a bad matchup. He picked ADC on top, and I've never been, unless you're really, really, really good. You should, always at least try to follow the meta, or at the very least, try to play the characters that are meant for those roles. A Zed top against the Nautilus is just not a good matchup, and it ended about as good as it could be expected, and the Nautilus split pushes into oblivion. But it's unfortunate, because like I said, we could have been 3-2. I'd have been happy with that. Probably would have placed us in silver 4 like last promos. I think we went 3-2 last promos and we got placed silver 4, but it is what it is. If you guys did your promos, let me know how you did down below. Unfortunately, the end of my last season was very terrible. It was the lowest lowest games I played in a season of League of Legends since I've been playing. I think I had 100 wins and 109 losses was what I finished at. And I had such a bad final stretch. I think I had like a 25% win ratio in my last 20 games. It was so bad. I'd lost 10 in a row. I went from gold 2 to silver 2. Like D rank silver 2 when I finally said, okay, that's it for me for this season. So yeah, it ended very, very badly. I didn't think nothing could go my way, and you know, the matches felt so lopsided. I don't know why, but I was like, okay, fresh start tonight, and here I am starting off. 1-4. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Bran right now is still a meta jungler, especially with these new items, Blackfire Torch item, and he really didn't get nerfed this patch, so I figured I'd go with Brandon still. Even though he was the jungler I picked for the majority of that 10-game losing streak. I kind of feel like these Riot games are always like that at the end of the season. Either people have tryhards on their team that are trying to boost their, you know, friend or spouse's account before the end of the season. But, yeah, I find the matchmaking and the games are just, they're so lopsided at the end of the season, I don't know why. This sexy Evelyn really, really annihilated my team early on. She's an assassin jungler, which I do like my assassin junglers. So she's really bursty, but because, you know, she's like most assassins, she's very squishy. That's the Blitz app, blitz.gg I'm using up top, so when people call out summoner spells, I can click on it and the timer shows so I know how long that spell's going to be on cooldown for. I haven't used it until this season. I never activated it. It's really good. If you guys are playing League or thinking about getting into League, especially if you're going to be a jungler, for damn sure if you're going to be a jungler, you should have the Blitz app running if you can, or borrow Professor, anything that gives countdowns to jungle camps and objective camps. So this is a new item I'm trying out. It stacks mana. I will say it does work for sure, because the 2 games I used it, I never ran out of mana with Brand, and that's a big deal with Brand, is running out of mana. The other thing that, you know, I kind of am impatient with Brand, which, you know, is literally the opposite of what you should be with Brand, is he is a later game champ, he scales. The longer the game goes on and the more fed he is. He's a team fight monster with all his ignites and his ult. That is just a fireball that bounces off of enemies. They bounce off each other. So if you throw it in a big group of people fighting, it'll bounce off multiple people, and the damage towards the end is just crazy. I think we get some here, but I might be mistaken. Might be the next game, I'm not sure. I think the next game after this was I actually did better that game. But that game we had a Yone that went top. And he split push top the whole game, and we got pushed all the way in. And I want to say by the midpoint of the match, he was complaining about me as the jungler and saying jungle diff and all this, which is just so pathetic. I had one less objective than the enemy jungler, and I had better stats, but a lot of them like try to project, and they use the jungler because he's the most easy to blame, I guess, or most common to blame. And yeah, the guy ended up with like 15 deaths in the end. He had like 12 kills and 15 deaths. He was just inting like crazy, but he was trying to project, that's all it usually is. So if you ever play jungler, and you wonder to yourself why, if there's no logic to someone complaining about you and you're wondering why, that's it. It's projecting because they're having a bad game. mostly, and it's probably little kids. Like I said, it's a free-to-play game. You know, free-to-play games have their pros and their cons. Their pros are obviously it's free. If you don't want to, in League of Legends, you generally 100% don't have to spend a nickel or a dime. Everything is free. The only thing you spend money on is battle passes, skins. If you don't want to, wait to unlock a new champion, you can do it yourself. You know, by buying the said champion instead of using your blue essence. But you know, everything about it's free, so there is that. That's a plus. The negative is, and the negative, in my opinion, far outweighs the positive. Most free-to-play games, not so much this. I will say I've played this for about 2 years now, and I don't think I've ran into one cheater that I'm aware of. Maybe it's in higher elos, but I definitely don't run into cheaters on other games, however, that are free-to-play. Think of like a Call of Duty Warzone, a PUBG, you know, mostly shooter games. The cheating is rampant. Like, I will use hacks, and you won't worry about, you know, getting banned, because he'll just create another account and log right back in. You know, he might have to use a different email address or something, but he definitely will. He definitely will just log right back in. So, there's that negative. Whereas if he bought a title and it's an actual full title release and it's a full price game, most games are, you know, obviously 60 to 80, sometimes $100 if you get certain editions. You know, that person's going to be a little less careful. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments. This Cassidin has been ganked 3 times in a row, and he's got 0 wards laid down, so I'm pinging, start warding. She's obviously camping you. Cassidin, luckily enough, just like Brand, I'm thinking, and I'm saying in game that he does scale late game, but man, he's off to a slow start. But yes, you're gonna be a little more careful there. He died again, and he used the flash. So Vader used flash, so I ping that, or I put it on my blitz. You know, because then you're gonna have to buy the game all over again, and you know, all the skins, everything you had, maybe because you actually purchased it, you lost forever. I know there was a guy back when I was playing Hunt Showdown. It was hilarious. He must have bought the game like 10 times. He kept getting banned, and he'd have to buy another copy on a different Steam account, and it was so funny. He was so desperate to try to get it to the top of the leaderboards in Hunt Showdown. But yes, I don't see that in here. What you do see in these free-to-play games, which is the other con, not so much big because you can just mute everybody, is the toxicity. This week, in the Twitch world, there's an incident where a girl was playing Valorant, a female streamer, and one of her teammates, because Valorant is so bad for this, one of her teammates was arguing with her, which most Valorant guys do when females are in their games. It's like the worst, most toxic game for females to play, and there's so many females that play it. But he was getting toxic with her, and he threatened to rape her, and she was so upset by this that she killed her stream and started to weep as she was getting dragged over it. I still got to kill her, by the way. She ran by the turret, and my turret shot her. She was getting dragged on Twitter for it, which was pretty pathetic, for, you know, doing it for content, you know, because she clipped it and posted it on Twitter, you know, to bring awareness to Riot. And again, if that guy gets banned, which he should, you know, there's video proof of him threatening to rape a female, he'll just create another account and get right back in right after it happens because it's a free-to-play game. That's just the way it is. And that's one of the things, that's definitely a negative, but like I said, you can, and I know so many girls in Valorant particularly because it's such a bad game for girls. I know so many girls in Valorant, and I played with a lot of girls in Valorant that just would not use their communications. They just wouldn't use their comms because, you know, they would either A, get flirted with, which is always, or B, they would get insulted. And a lot of it was, if they're young kids, or teenagers, awkward teenagers, they would flirt with them like children would. They would be mean to them, and then add them as a friend afterwards. It was the most crazy, cringe shit I ever seen in my life. I used to queue up with girls, you know, quite often. I think a lot of them felt comfortable with me because I was a Twitch streamer, and they could literally come to my channel and they could see my face, and that wasn't creepy, obviously. And they knew from getting to know me, that I was engaged, and you know, I had a full-time job, and I was just basically an adult. I'm not gonna do anything to make them feel uncomfortable. So, yeah, I had out of my pool of Valorant players, I think I had mostly women. But where I'm getting with the story is we would be playing Valorant. I think I mentioned in my old Valorant whispered gameplays. We'd be playing Valorant, and this was silly of me to take this fight. Like I said, she's an assassin, and I am not. I'm like a mage. Ugh. And this is like where I was kicking myself in the ass. I should have went back and got some more parts for my item that would have given me more AP, but I kind of got grading stayed out a little too long. But I'd be playing with them, and you know, as soon as obviously they would speak in game, they would either get flirted with or shit talked. And no matter what happened, every single game we would play, they could be bottom fragging and terrible, just terrible. If you were queued up with them as a random, you'd be like, oh my god, I'm so glad I don't have to play with this person again. Doesn't matter, and maybe I'd be top fragging. They would always get friend requests as soon as the match was over, and I wouldn't get any. It was so fucking brutal. I remember the one girl I was playing with, I can't remember her name now, Shay, I think. That was so long ago now. Or Sarissa, I think her name was. We were in a game and this guy was so mean to her. He was shit-talking her the whole time and calling her stupid, basically, and making her just feel like garbage. Then at the very end of the game, when we won, he was telling her to, you know, add him up so she could, you know, he could show her how to play. You know, I'm like, what? You actually think she's going to play with you? You know, and she was laughing, going, oh my god, I was like, that's crazy. Like I said, I think it's today's society. Our very, very young people. It's a product of, you know, the way things are now. Everything's digital, everything's online. It's not like it was back in the day, you know. Like if I want to meet a girl back in the day, I had to go out and physically see her. So I had to learn, you know, social skills to talk to girls in real life. Whether it be at the bars or, you know, community rec centers, you know, at a martial arts studio, whatever it may be. And now that just doesn't happen. You know, a lot of the young people, they talk only online, so they have this, you know, blurred idea of how they should be talking to women. And, you know, some of them, you know, it's just, they're so warped, the way they think. When it comes to that kind of stuff, it's mind-boggling, but we went on way too long about that. I just figured I'd bring it up in case someone heard about it. It was a big thing on Twitch. And Andrew Tate was even chiming in, that piece of shit, and he said, if girls can't handle being talked to like that in a man's space, they shouldn't be playing video games. He's such a scumbag. Anyway, let's kind of get on to this match. If you guys notice, I upgraded my League of Legends webcam again. I love to change it throughout the year. Those of you that don't know what that is, because maybe you don't play League of Legends, you don't know the lore, that is the Ruin King, or the Ruin Nation theme. It was like an event that happened, I think it was like 3 years ago now. It was right before I started playing League. This whole lore with the Ruin King, which is Viego the jungler, but they actually had a gun skin line in Valorant when I was playing it for the Grocknation skin line. And it's why when I very first played League, I started to use Viego, because he was the only League of Legends player I knew aside from the Arcane show. But yeah, they got a whole bunch of characters that like get corrupted by this Grocknation thing, which is like almost like they're under a spell. And one of them is, they're called Ruined, by the way. Like, that's Misfortune. And she's called Ruined Misfortune. And they got a whole bunch of them. Ruined so-and-so, Ruined so-and-so, and that's what they are. They're like under a spell. So, I actually found that picture on Facebook, believe it or not. Because I follow a bunch of League of Legends groups. And I was like, that's really cool, really sexy too. And I love Misfortune. Misfortune, Jinx, and Nidalee are my favorite League of Legends female characters for sure. I would say Violet as well, but Misfortune's just sexy. Oh, that was a good takedown. That was a really good takedown. I got a bounty there even. Do I get somebody else here? Oh, nice. I got Dr. Mundo too. So yeah, but that webcam, animated webcam, is actually from Etsy. I've had it for a few years now. I used to actually put Jinx on there, but yeah, I like to just mix it up. It's nice, you know, makes the stream look better. You know, again, this is one of the most popular games in the entire world, so, you know, the odd time I get somebody that actually finds me on their own and they're not friends of mine, they're always like, oh my god, that's such a nice cam, and I'm like, I know. And of course they talk about the arcade. The only thing I don't like about the Ruined Misfortune is that's the only way she fits on the cam. You know, without making her really small, so you can't really see my minis to the left of me, and you can just barely make out the Street Fighter arcade machine, but it looks really nice. I usually do themes, obviously, as you guys know, for Christmas, Halloween. I have a Pride Month, June theme I put up as well, both on here and my other games. Right now, I don't know. Like I said, I think I might play this a bit more this year. I'm not sure though. Like, I don't have. It's like going to be a month still before I can play the finals as the season's over, and I got my diamond rank, so there's really nothing for me to play the finals for. I did that solo queuing again, which I'm super proud of. Right here is where I'm like, okay, if they get closer, I can use my ult, and it should bounce off a few of them, so I think that's what I do, and I get a couple, I think. Right here, I use it on Mundo, and it bounced off Mundo, and I think I hit Vigar, but it wasn't enough to kill them. But I did get an assist. Oh, there we go, I got Zac over it. So yeah, it's, like I said, he scales really, really nice. Oh, there we go, a double kill. I got the Evil in as well. Oh, this Vigar nuked 3 of us in that bush at the same time. Or 2, I guess, technically. He got casted in before. That was crazy. Looking at it now, yeah, I think he got casted in beforehand. But he nuked the rest of us in that bush. Like, that was an awesome shot from him. Vigar's another one of those champions, like Brand, that scales late. You just want to make sure that you're getting your items and you're getting your CS, and you're going to be deadly late game. Really, really hard, and you're going to one-shot people. I don't know if Brand's a one-shotter per se, but he's definitely a ton of damage in a crowd. So yeah, like that new Blackfire torch. I don't know if that's new, but maybe it's adjusted. That's the new brand build, but I wanted to try out this new item. And I say, I don't mind it. I know a lot of Brand's builds because Brand has a passive. His passive is he ignites you. Like right there, that's ignited. And if you hit him with all three abilities, you get this extra little explosion that happens. But basically, if you use a magic ability on somebody, you ignite them. So ignite spells, like, stacks that, increases the ignite. So Blackfire and Leandre's is a really good stack for that. But I just wanted to give this a try, and I really like it. You know, like I said, there's no burn, but I didn't run out of mana once. Our Jin's really starting to pop off here. This Zac, I swear to God, this Zac must have been in one of my games on my team after this match. I Garumba, like I had some brutal feeders these two games right after this. I was trying to proceed to get an assist as well, but do I get Mundo here? Oh, I landed the stun and everything. There's the assist. I had laners that went 0-5, 0-6. I think we FF'd one. We should have FF'd the other, but they would not. My team would not FF. We had two laners that had 0 kills and close to double-digit deaths. It was really, really bad. I see he just keeps jumping in and he's so far behind. That's definitely not something you want to be doing. I couldn't believe Evelyn tried to fight us here. I was like, she's gonna die if she does. And yeah, Jin got her. So this is, this and my next brand game are probably my two best brand games I've played in a month. Brand got me to gold last season. It took me all the way to gold too. I honestly thought I was gonna make plat. And I just slowly, I think I was stuck at gold 2, gold 3 for over a month. I would go up, back to gold 2, then I'd go down to gold 3, and then, like I said, I just went on that brutal losing streak. And I dropped all the way down, and I just gave up for the last 2 weeks of the season. I was kind of like, I'll just wait for the new season, and that's what I did tonight. When I got home from my cabin, I've been putting out content for you guys every day this week. They're really nice whispered gameplay, and there's an RP, WrestleMania RP. I think you guys would absolutely love if you haven't checked it out. But really, all day long, I've been in my cabin, and I'm going to be at my cabin or out of town right up until my wedding. So I'm going to be very busy. I was splitting wood all day today. My back is literally sore as we speak. I gotta go to Saskatoon on the set of days off. I landed that Q still. I was landing all of my Qs. Just as I say that, I miss a Q, but I had so many stuns. And as a brand, that's what you want. You want to be able to land that Q so you can stun them for your team. Your skill shot champions, a lot of them, a skill shot really is how their abilities work. So, a little advice if you're, a little tired, maybe you don't feel like your reflexes are right there to land a skill shot, just avoid playing them. There's times where I just gotta be like, okay, I can't land my Q today, with whether it be Brand or Nidalee, whatever it may be. I need to pick somebody else, someone a little easier, maybe maybe a Vi. Vi's all disappointing click, maybe that's what I need right now, and you make adjustments like that in a fly. Tonight was one of those nights where I was just landing all of my Qs. I would say 80% of my Qs I landed tonight. It was with Brand. The 2 games I played with them. I actually played 2 games at Brand, and I played 3 games with Shaco. And 2 of those 3 games with Shaco, one of them I carried, but we lost regardless. I was the carry of the team. And the other 2, I did fairly well, but like I said, there was the one game we had where the team gap was just too much. There was no way we were gonna come back and win that. Every single lane was severely behind. Yeah, it just feels like lately I can't catch a break. That Zach finally killed somebody, and of course it was me. He dove in and finally got a kill. Oh jeez, I was wondering why I couldn't get that, and I realized, oh my goodness, my inventory slots are full. I don't care about health, because, you know, I'm a squishy champion as is. If I was a tank, maybe, so I want that AP. This Gragas, man, he was a menace. I think he goes over and he attacks that turret. We're kind of like, what is he doing? And then he went back. Yeah, he was a menace. They really had a tough time with him. I think his name is supposed to say cocaine lover, but he's got, obviously you can't say that on, I write that down in League of Legends. He's got some different fonts to make it look like that, but that's clearly what it says. I think I got two accolades from this game. I got accolades in all but one game tonight. And I actually, for the first time ever, and I've been, like I said, been playing since, 2 years. 2022, I started playing May 2022. First time ever I got a warning for comms abuse. And it must have happened that last week I was arguing with a guy on my team. And it must have been that game. One thing about me in League of Legends, or any games like this, 9 times out of 10, if someone starts smack talking, I don't even bother engaging. I just report them afterwards. Oh, I got her. I was gonna say, did I not get her? But sometimes, like, if it's just too much, like you got a player that's, maybe throwing or something, and they're smack talking or trying to throw you under the bus, you just gotta go, okay, I gotta give it to this guy. So yeah, I actually got my very first one. I used to wonder, I'm like, how the hell does it happen? Because I always get, thank you for your report, this person got penalized. And I'm like, do they really get penalized? Like, how do they know? Like, is it just a longer queue and they're unaware of it? But no, they tell you and you have to write down, I understand, and all this crap. And so I'm like, wow, it took me 2 years to get that. Like, but again, it just goes to show I don't normally give a shit enough to argue with people. I probably would have got a lot more otherwise. And I always get like honor level 5. This was the first season I played where I didn't get it, but again, I only played 200 games, so like I said, it went 101 and 109, 101 wins and 109 losses. Just for comparison, the season prior, I think I had 300 wins and like 300 some wins and 300 some losses. Like, so I played a lot more games last year. Did I get a piece of him there? I don't know if I did. No, I didn't. I didn't get an assist. Yeah, Bran, when you get to this point, he's such a fun jungler. He hurts so much. He's got a really good clear. Yeah, like I said, this Zach, I think he's just throwing. I don't know what his deal is, but oh, I lost a Baron tonight. It got stolen on me. Was I Brand? Oh, I was Brand. It was the next game. Like I said, we lost the next 2. We shouldn't have lost them, but they were really close games regardless. But I told them like I didn't want to do the Baron because they were all up, and I know it was warded, but my team started it, so I went in there, and sure enough, the jungler jumped in, stole the Baron with a smite, and I was stuck in there, and I got killed. I think 3 of us ended up getting killed, so it was a disaster. And I was like, my God, I should have just listened to myself and said, no, we're not doing it right now. Like, let me make things easier for you guys if you guys play League of Legends. If you're not the jungler, man, when you're on vacation, don't worry about when you're gonna do objectives. Let the jungler decide. That's one of the things that drives me nuts. People will be like, you know, they'll ping objectives, and I'm like, what? This is news to me. Like, there's another Q landed. Boom. You know, let the jungler do it because you don't know if the jungler has smite, or you know, maybe the other junglers realized, you know, that the enemy jungler likes to try to steal or something along those lines. Maybe he wants a pick first. You know, just something. Let him decide. I'd love it if I was a laner and the jungler's like, "Hey, we doing this now or not? It's up to you guys." Like, but yeah, this is the very first game of the season. I figured once I got it done, I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of interesting. I'll put it out there for you guys. It was a decent enough game. Like I said, if those other two games would have went my way, I would have loved to put those ones on too, because I played really well in those ones as well. But we didn't get the win, unfortunately. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys liked the whispers, and hopefully give you guys some tingles. Those of you that like League of Legends gameplay, I hope you got that as well. As you can see, I gave Gragas the GGs. That gave me a whole bunch of stuff. And it placed me in Bronze 3. You know, I got 2 accolades. What it does is it places you in a rank, and then you play out the rest of your 4, and you'll either go up or down. And I never won another one, so I was stuck in Bronze 3 right until my promo was over, and I'm in Bronze 3 now, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I gotta play a little more of this. Hopefully get some wins and start climbing. Like I say, I think it's your next 10 games. You know, as long as you get wins, you get quite a bit of LP, so. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope everyone has a great day, great night, whatever it may be, and peace out. Bye, guys.